Hello everybody, this is TechStack here, and this is episode 11 of my Let's Play series. Today we're going to start off with showing you a couple of crafting recipes of why I've been saving back the coal and not using it in my furnaces or anything like that. As you can see, I've macerated all the coal down, or not all of it, a good portion of the coal down into coal dust, and added that with a flint piece, and that gets you a coal ball. You take that coal ball and you put it into a compressor, and when you do that it'll give you a compressed coal ball. Okay, when you take the compressed coal ball and take that back into a crafting recipe with a piece of obsidian, just surround the obsidian with that, it gives you a coal chunk. Those coal chunks, you take those and put them back into a compressor and you'll end up with a diamond. That is the reason that I've saved these pieces of coal all this time. I'm going to end up with 15 diamonds out of this. I haven't really found very many diamonds mining. Just kind of getting impatient here, so I wanted to go ahead and get the first diamonds from the coal. Which should pop out here in a second. Oh, there you go. Diamonds. What I need the diamonds for is to create the next machine I need for my tree farm. They're over here. Currently I've got 8, so I need 1 more to cook up, or to compress into a diamond. And I'm going to make a diamond block, then turn that diamond block into, it's a, I forget the name of it. It is a, needed for the frame machine motor. So let's go over here. Motor. This is blue electric, and this copper coil made from fine copper wire. It's this diamond draw plate that you have to use with copper to get this. This diamond draw plate is a tool. It is not used up completely when you do this, from what I understand. So I'll be able to create several fine copper wires from one draw plate. But in order to create the draw plate, you have to create a full diamond block and just start cutting it up. So that's kind of a drawback, but I think you'll be able to get some of the diamonds back because you're only using a small portion of the block itself when you do that. I do see I'm going to need some iron. 41 iron, that's more than enough. Going to have to create a full iron block itself. So let's get crafting this stuff here. I did go ahead and off camera create all of the other machines other than the frame motors and battery boxes, blue electric battery boxes. I just did that because I was bored waiting on these things to go, and they're simple enough to look up in the NEI. I don't really need to show everybody how to craft every single recipe. I understand that. Diamond block. Let's cut that. Strips. Panels. How far did we need to go? We need a panel. And that's what I have. Okay. So how did I turn that into... Take the panel and do what to it? Iron strips. Panel strips. Okay. As you can see from the crafting recipe, to get there, this is going to be a multiple step process to get to the end product. I'll probably just create this diamond draw plate on camera and then cut from there. There's the panels. And the strips. I need 4 of those. And what I understand is, yep, you can take this and turn it back into iron ingots. And if I put 1 of these in here, yep, you can turn those back into diamonds. So it's not going to waste diamonds, the fact that you only have to use 1 of these panel strips and you still have 3 other ones. You can turn them back into diamonds again. So that's a fair deal. Anyway, I'm going to do the rest of the crafting here off of camera. I'm going to create the frame motor and then a couple blue electric batteries. As you can see in this chest over here, I've already got the block breakers, deployer, red alloy wire, timer, redstone tube frame, and then a couple additional support frames to move this thing up and down. Hold on a sec. Let me show you what else I've done here. I got tired of feeding the cows over there, so I went ahead and created a blast furnace. Cooked myself up some steel and made those steel plates that you've probably seen in that chest down there. needed the steel plates to make a feed station. The feed station works great as far as breeding the animals. As you can see, I now have an abundance of cows. It seems to have stopped doing it now. Maybe it's just luck now. When I first had this thing set up, and that's going to be loud, let me get away from you guys. I had that fence right underneath the breeding station, or the feed station, and they would spawn in outside of the fence. So I moved it out a couple blocks like you can see now, and last time I checked on it, they were still out breeding outside of the fence. So I don't know if that's a glitch or what, but there appear to be, the babies appear to be coming in outside the fence area, quite a ways away from where the actual adults are. So I don't know. Hopefully that's moving. It has stopped at this time, but I was losing cows all over the place. Had to go hunt them all down. Let's go ahead and drop back down in here, and I will see you in a few minutes once I have all the needed materials to start on this tree farm build. Okay, I'm back. I've created the battery box and the frame motor now. The diamond draw plate did last. Ooh, I've got several creepers out here. Not a good way to start building. Let's go take care of these guys real quick here. And thanks for the dirt, creeper. I don't have a bow on me. Let me come right back once I've gotten rid of all these guys, because this could take a second. Well, that's rather disappointing. I guess I should have kept recording. I thought my jetpack was in with the hover mode disabled, so I can fly up real quick, and this creeper got me. The worst part of it was he killed the beehive that was sitting right outside my front door that I haven't touched on purpose for all this time, because I haven't gotten into bees yet, and was planning to at some point, but guess I won't be using this one for that. Oh well. On to building this tree farm, I guess. As you can see, I've kind of got a place marked out here. You can also see that I've upgraded all my chests I had on my old tree farm here to ender chest. Those ender chests are linked to the setup I have underneath my base that uses wood. Let's go ahead and start building. First we need to place down a couple deployers. I believe we got to place it like this. Yeah. Okay, one of these will be for bone meal, and the other one will be for the saplings. Now we need to tower up, so that's why I was saying thank you for the dirt when the creeper blew up last time. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's just make this extra tall in case we have some tall trees. Oh, I did not bring any wood. Let me be right back. Okay, back here. Got myself some wood from the crafting tables in there. I'm just going to build a temporary platform up here so that I can work to build this thing up. Just kind of mark the location above this and all that. Okay. Now let's take some of this dirt and place it down here. We're going to need to have a lever here, a repeater here. Sapling will go here. So we're going to need some regular redstone coming out the back here. I think that piece there needs to be actual redstone, the redstone dust that is. And we're going to need to make this just a little bit wider. There we go. And we need a piece there, and there. Let's go place the redstone dust here, or wire here, here, and here. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this portion of the line off. And I think right here is where I had the timers. So those will be the timers. And then we're going to need another piece of dirt over here. This will be the wireless signal going up there. I probably will use wireless in this. You don't have to use wireless redstone for this setup, but it just saves you a lot of alloy wire going straight up. And I don't know how far out you have to be, if it had to be like out here to just not interfere with the tree growing, that kind of thing. Let's go go ahead and place down these timers. Gonna need one there and there. Okay, they're both going. And I guess I need to get some redstone dust. Forgot that. What else did I forget? So I can grab everything here if possible. Got the batteries. Oh, I need to make the solar panels. I do have the materials already made for that. I just don't have the panels with me. Oh, and the wireless itself. So let me go craft those, and I'll continue on with this build. Okay, I think I've got everything I need this time. I think I've said that a couple times, but this time I really do think I have everything. Let me just take care of this and get my redstone dust out. And we need this to be here, and this one here, and here. And then we need a transmitter at the end of this line. So what will happen is, once I place the lever here, this will be powered, and then this spot here will get a sapling. The redstone signal will not transmit through the sapling, but when it gets a tree trunk there, it will transmit a power or a signal all the way through into the wireless receiver, which will trigger the frame head to come down and just, break the tree. These timers here will set up to deploy the bone meal and sapling to grow a new tree once it's been taken. Let me go ahead and get one more thing that I did forget. I was wrong. And that's the strips. Need the strips to break this line here so that this redstone signal doesn't power back into the wireless redstone, because that will cause problems. And the problem it'll cause is it'll basically continually grow continually try to come down when the tree should be trying to grow instead. Let me grab that stuff and I'll be back. Okay, and I've got my lever and the redstone. And let's just demonstrate how this is going to work here. Sapling, redstone signal on this side is not on that side. The only reason it's pulsing there is because of these guys, the timers. Let me go ahead and place an actual block down instead of a sapling, and you'll see it's not working for some reason. That's interesting. Now this works in the creative mode. Oh, that's right. This needs to be a repeater. That's the issue. I found that it didn't transmit the signal through the block when it wasn't a repeater. Let me grab a repeater, I guess, and show you that. Okay. And this is why we test things, folks. If you don't, then you don't realize where it's set up is wrong. As you can see, it is now powering all the way through, and it's locking these timers then, so they don't trigger. Take the signal away, they run again. Let's do it with the sapling and ensure it does work with the sapling. As you can see, there's no signal going through. The pulses that you're seeing are just from those timers. Okay, now let's put these strips in here so that the timers don't backfeed into the rest of the system. There, and there, and there, and there. Now those timers should not trigger this redstone line, and they do not. Good. So this part of the setup is pretty much complete. The only things we need to have is a feeder into both of these for the saplings and bone meal. We can also set the frequency on this thing to whatever we want it to be. This is the first wireless redstone I've used in my world, so I'll probably just leave it at 0 unless it becomes a conflict later for some type of logic I might create. Let's go up here and start building out this other frame head piece. Let's see here. So this block is the center. So that's where we're going to need the frame head to rest at. Let's see. We're going to need the redstone frame tubes. Or tube frame. So that's going to be there. Let's come down one more. And then 2 on each side of that. So we have a total of 5 building out. 5 by 5 area, that is. really, I guess I could have built this down lower so I had more room, but this works. The reason I say that is because the machine will pull this part up. This tube or frame part will move up and down as needed. Those need to be all removed. This is going to be where the frame motors go, if I remember correctly. Or no, that's where the block breaker goes. Looks like I'm going to need one more block breaker and one more deployer. Because that'll go there, that'll break it. And we need one motor over here to move it up. That's going to have to be there, I believe. Let me just think this through, make sure I've got this set up right. I'll be right back. I'm going to check my creative world, make sure I'm doing this correctly. Yeah, I am doing it right. Thought so. Just needed to be sure. So if that's going to be there, this is going to have to be here. And let's see which way it's facing. Good, it's facing down. That is not actually the way we want it. I need to grab my screwdriver. We need that one pointing up. The one above up here will point down. And that's just simply because, you know, I can't pull the frames up because they'll be broken by this block breaker there. And in fact, I'm assuming that this here, I haven't tested this, but I'm assuming that one there on up can be a regular support frame with no tube in it, because it's going to be broken by this block breaker anyway, and I'm going to have an ender chest like out here that'll attach to all these frames to pick up the wood blocks and saplings that the tree has. Let me go ahead and place all these block breakers underneath, and then one more redstone tube frame. And this is really the key to this design, is this center block breaker that's lower than everything else. And that's because, you know, when we come down here, you want to be able to pick up the block that's down here, but you don't want to destroy your block or deployers and all your redstone wiring and everything that's down here. If it was all flush and even, then that's exactly what happened. You'd lose both of your deployers and all your redstone wiring and stuff, and it would be sucked up into your ender chest. So definitely place one lower in the center there. Just place these. Jetpack is nice to have on buildings like this. I guess you could build a scaffolding system or setup to take care of it, but I don't have the patience for that. This seems to work just fine. I am actually running out of time to record for the day, so I'm going to have to make another cut here in just a second. Once I place these last two, and I will pick up right here next time I get a chance to record, and we'll finish this thing off. Okay guys, I'm back here. As you can see, I have went ahead and completed this thing, and it was a good thing I ended up doing it off camera. I initially was doing it off camera just because of when I picked up playing again, it just wasn't a good time to record, just too noisy of an environment. But I've ran into some issues. What happened was the DireWolf pack version 5 was released, and I opened it up. Of course, I created a backup first. Always create a backup. I did it out of precaution. I am glad I did it now. What happened was I went ahead and started working on this. Had the block breaker and deployer set up on this, which you can see are now missing and not needed, which is I guess a good thing. Just less mechanical pieces that need to be running. This design works just fine with it just going above. End up looking a little bit silly, but that's okay. What happened was I had the block breaker here, pneumatic tubes running up into the deployer. What I found out was, after a little bit of time, and I came back up here and I looked at the deployer had all of the frames in it, but it also had another item which had no texture at all and had a name of unnamed. It was the same block ID as these frames, except for it had a data value of 1 attached to it. I took those all out of it because it was starting to fill up the deployer, and I was afraid it was going to overflow and not allow the actual frames to come in, because I only have like 5 or 6, maybe 10 max frames here that the block breaker was breaking, and I had like 5 stacks of this unnamed item. So I took those out. I had them in my inventory. I walked over to somewhere over there, and my world just crashed. Tried logging back in, crashed again. So what I ended up having to do was I took a level.dat file from one of my backups and loaded it back up. I think that's the one that contains like your player inventory and everything. And I think what I'd done is I'd scrolled over to the slot that had that unnamed item, and that's when it crashed, because I think it's because it doesn't have a texture or a mesh attached to it or anything like that. It just died. But anyway, I was able to recover. When I came back, I had additional frame motors in my inventory still, because the backup that I had not placed them. So I went ahead, and as you can see, I've deleted those out of my inventory. And then I went ahead and proceeded to finish this thing and create a design that does not need a block breaker or deployer set up, so that I don't continually create this phantom item, if you will. The underneath side works exactly the same as it would otherwise. We've got a ender chest here that's getting supplied with bone meal. I have a setup in my base that takes it from the skeleton chest, runs it through an auto crafting table, turns it into bone meal, and then sticks it into the ender chest with this color coding. Over on this side, this is the same ender chest that's on top of this, right there, on top of the frame head there, and as it breaks a tree, the logs and saplings get placed in here. We've got a filter set up so that it only takes saplings out of this ender chest and just places them directly into here. You can see that it is keeping up quite well. Over on this side, we are running low on bone meal constantly. But the setup that I've done with these filters, I think this one's just a transposer and this one's a filter. It runs off the same redstone signal as these clocks here, so it's not going to pulse any extra as far as the filter is concerned and the transposer is concerned, other than what it's placing out into the world. So that's a good thing. Obviously this one here will pulse extra compared to the number that are needed, because once one comes out, another one won't be deployed out of that deployer. So it'll just continually pull all the saplings, which is a good thing, because we don't want this chest backfilling with saplings because of the setup underground that also is linked on the same chest that actually pulls the logs out. So this is the completed setup. I definitely recommend going this route, at least until that bug is fixed with the block breakers and deployers. I would assume that would impact anybody's frame setup that uses deployers and block breakers. I'd seen something similar on DireWolf's videos at one point, where he had an item getting created. It actually showed up as an item in his setup though, so there's a little bit of a difference for my world here. And obviously he wasn't playing on the DireWolf20 pack at that time, he was playing on his server. Let me just take a quick flight over here and make sure my world is not corrupt, because I do see a big world hole. Okay, it's just not loaded. Good. Because right over there is where I died, or not died, but the world crashed on me. Let me take you underground, show off what else I've been working on. As you can see, I've got the entrance over here still. I am finally out of geothermal power, and that's something we're going to revisit. That lasted an awfully long time for the amount of effort that I had to put in there, because that ran my macerator and electric furnace for a very long time. Still got a little bit of power left, but those first two are empty now. This setup over here, as you can see, it's pulling out the logs. Once there's a log coming, you'll see it fly out of there, and it's continually creating charcoal as we wanted it to. But it's not keeping up. I don't know if I need to do another tree farm setup out there so that I can double the output of the logs or what, but these electrical engines chew through that power. So maybe I need to reduce the number of engines, because when you look at them, like this one here, it'll say it's out of fuel. So that means there's not getting enough electrical juice. I do know like these two generators are not getting charcoal. Probably that one isn't either. Yeah. So the two on the ends are not getting any charcoal. The three middle ones are. So this setup right now is only enough to power 3 generators or fuel 3 generators. Now it's not because I don't have enough iron furnaces. I certainly have enough iron furnaces. If I look down here, you know, that one's got wood, this one doesn't. So it's really only supplying the first two. That partially also could be because I ran out of bones. Before I started this video, I went ahead and went over there and got some bones. So we need to do some fine tweaking on this. But part of the issue is, you know, it's going to have a limit at some point where I can only produce so many logs, and this thing's going to only burn so many, and those can only produce so much electrical energy. Now I do plan on creating or removing all those battery boxes over there to hook them into this, and maybe I'll also hook up my geothermals into this setup over here. I do have big plans for this underneath area on the space. You can see I cleared out some more space. Gonna create a way of selectively choosing what type of power that this generator area creates. But for now, I've also gone into I went ahead and created a iron tank. Got over 1 million buckets worth of storage in this thing. And as you can see, I put in some liquid ducts and a fermenter. The fermenter I've just been feeding with the excess birch saplings that I found out there in my setup for now. Eventually I do plan on hooking it up to a ender chest that, you know, it can just pull all the saplings out, or at least the excess saplings out of. Hooked it up to my aqueous accumulator so that it's got a constant supply of water, and then moved my hobbyist steam engine down here just to power the thing and get it started, because it does need a little bit of Minecraft joules to run. But yeah, so that hook runs into my iron tank. Right now that iron tank obviously is not getting anything because it is also pumping out into these biogas engines, and they were filling up. Now right now they will not run because they don't have any lava in them. You need to supply them with some lava for startup. I will do that. Just trying to get this setup started. Just started working on it last night. I'm hoping that these engines will be able to run off of this redstone signal, so that when I flip the switch there, all of my engines will power up and try and fuel those things. I found out that these engines here are capable of producing like up to 5 MJ per tick. Well, it's not displayed in here. So that was the reason I went with those. These engines here, without any type of socket in them, will produce up to 2 MJ per tick, which most of them aren't even producing that right now because of the fact that they're not getting a lot of electrical energy. If I did put a socket in them, they will go higher. However, they will use a significantly more amount of electrical energy. So didn't really want to go that route. Not until I can figure out what I need to do to get my generators running at a better clip here. As you can see, the logs are coming in, but just not fast enough to keep up. Let's see, are we at the third one yet? Nope. That one's getting full. I think I do have my tree farm powered up as fast as it'll go, so I might just have to duplicate it, and that would probably be enough to set it over the top to get another couple little iron furnaces going. Let's see, what else did I do? Did quite a bit off camera this time. Oh, let's get off this, it's making it shaky. Oh yes, my tower. I've extended it up a little higher. As you can see, I added a whole nother white and black level, and then put the indent, the floor for this white one here, and then I'm gonna put another black level on, and that'll probably be my top level. So this height up here is probably going to be my last floor. This will be well, it might be my last floor. My original plan was to go up one and then start going back out a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to need any more floors than this though, so this might just end up being my thermocraft, or not thermocraft. It might be thermocraft, the magical mod area. Just kind of wanted to get it well above my base in case I create any wisp or anything nearby up that high. But yeah, that'll be that. My storage room, I am quickly running into a need for increasing the storage capacity of this thing. The amount of cobble that I'm storing is getting a little ridiculous from my quarry. The quarry does run really fast with those things, assuming you can power those. Well, good, we're fill up. I'll have to move that. So that's a quick update. What's going on? Sorry I couldn't show you creating the tree farm any better than I did. In fact, let me go sleep. Like I said, it was a good thing that it was off camera because of the problems I had with happening to restore backup and everything. I apologize for that, but the initial setup, which didn't cause any problems in my creative world, seemed to be causing problems here. But yeah, and it looks like this thing is... Oh, there it goes. On to other topics. If you haven't seen the comment that I posted on my own channel, I am in the process of acquiring a server. And I will be opening that server up to some individuals. I'm not ready to do that yet. I don't even have the server set up. In fact, the service provider that I was going with decided to cancel my order overnight, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Once that gets all settled, I will develop some rules and a form to submit requests to join the server, and I will be picking probably a handful of people at first, just to see how well the server performs, and you guys can play with me then. The question that I have for everyone is, do we want to play in this world? Do we want to copy this world over to the server, and I then at that point continue my Let's Play from a server standpoint? Or would you prefer that we start a new server with a fresh world? I'm fine with that. I mean, I've made some nice choices. I do like my base. I put a lot of work into this world as far as the sewers concerned and the underwater base, the beginnings of the underwater base, I should say. But I've also made some mistakes. I'm not sure about my power setup right now. That's why I'm going the route of having the ability to do biogas. That seems like a more abundant fuel source, assuming you can get the ready supply of saplings. My initial try on doing this, this is kind of a side note, I was going to use these redwood saplings. The fermenter will not accept redwood saplings. If it would have, I would have had an endless supply of biomass, and I probably would have had 10 of these fermenters down here running off of just redwood saplings right now, and this thing would probably be full when I showed you this morning. Just because of the sheer volume of redwood saplings that I get. I have probably 5 or 6 stacks of these, and I've been throwing them away because they just fill up my inventory too fast. I could easily just flood these things with redwood saplings. My turtle, you know, every time he tops down a tree, there's probably almost a stack that gets dropped off those things. So anyway, back to server stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think as far as how we should do the world. I'll probably be posting another video just asking that question so I can get it up quicker. This video will probably come out on Thursdays. I'm trying to get to a more regular schedule on my uploads, just so you guys have some content on a regular basis. And from my standpoint, it's a little bit easier on me to push out the videos. You know, I can like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, if I can keep to that schedule, releasing one of my Let's Plays, and then hopefully by the weekend releasing my modded Minecraft invention. Initially I was just pushing out videos as fast as I could, and I'm not opposed to doing that. It was just more of a standpoint of I want to be able to take the time to create a video that's worth watching, and not just me digging dirt, for example. I know I just did that, but I'm also talking to you. Yeah, I just want to create a little bit of a better video. You know, it took me probably a couple hours just to collect all the pieces for making this thing. I'm assuming that most of my viewers have seen other people's Feed the Beast, DireWolf20 or Minecraft series, and they don't need to know how to make every single block. I'm doing this more for as a hobby for myself, and also to show you how to get the different pieces of all the mods to work together. You know, this type of setup here. This is something that no one else is going to have in a video except for me, unless they truly want to do the exact same thing as far as a log going into a generator that gets cooked, that gets through a retriever, etc. All of that just to create a redstone energy cell. I do kind of like the Rube Goldberg type setups. They're just kind of fun to do. Not saying that I always will do something like that. As you can see from some of my other videos, I do like to use the computer craft mod and the programming involved in that, so you'll be seeing some of that from me too. But yeah, this is kind of getting a little bit of a long talky section here, so I guess the moral of the story is, let me know what you want to do. If you want to play with me on the server, when I get it set up, if you want to play with this world here, or you want to start a new world, because it's going to be something that I will probably use as my Let's Play series. So if we go the route of creating a new world, we're going to abandon most of the stuff on here as far as the setup that I have, and start fresh. One of the benefits from my standpoint of doing a server is going to be like the quarry setup. Once I get a quarry that's continually powered and self-sustaining, I can log off, and while I'm at work or sleep, that thing will be gathering resources for me, and I won't have to be continually playing in order to gather resources. You know, the setup I have right now, it's kind of twofold. One, I run out of power, and two, I can't run my computer 24/7 with a game running on it, because I do use it for my profession. And that means that if I'm not logged in, I don't get resources. So my resource supply is pretty low. But anyway, this is TechStack here. I'm assuming this video is a little too long. So this is TechStack signing off. Have a good day. And this is my Let's Play series using the Feed the Beast mod loader. And we are playing on the DireWolf20 pack. As you can see, when I turn it on here, the frame machine head starts moving down and the block breakers start just chewing away the tree. The key to this thing is, and as you can see, I have set up a linking book all the way to the end here. I have gone ahead and killed the dragon off camera and set up a little bit of a trap here for the Enderman. I'm working on my